Vibranium mines, we're going to do it up through the first 3. I'll do it up to probably killing Wizard. Oh, Eternity Splinter, you know what that. Alright, defending these can be a huge pain as a melee because, you know, traveling back and forth, but if your damage is high enough, you will get all of them down and should have enough time. Every now and then you'll get some bad RNG of nothing but elite spawns, make it a little more difficult, but normally is all around doable. I've failed it before, but it happens a lot less than it actually, or I failed a lot less than I actually completed. Basics of moves, I tend to spam my basic attack just for the AoE aspect. You also have Slice and Dice, which is a little bit more area damage. A lot of people don't run it because it is very spirit intensive, and I completely understand that, and they trade it off for a ranged for some bosses. I don't really like having ranged on Deadpool because I feel it's a huge damage loss not to be in melee range, because you're not getting your katana's bleed proc, you're not getting their explosion proc, and I really don't see a reason not to be in melee range. Some raid bosses you're going to have a reason, but for anything that's not a raid, I don't see a reason. And I can't even think of any raid bosses yet because, well, then again, I haven't done all the raid bosses on all the settings, but nonetheless, I see no reason to be at ranged with this character. You have too much healing to waste it. I also have foot gougers here. A lot of people like to use the gas. Gas is more damage. Foot gougers, I feel, is significantly less lag whenever putting them up. The time it takes him to actually throw it, I feel, is a slight loss. It's probably not as much of a loss in the attack speed as the all-around damage gain is, but it just messes with my health regen a lot too. So I choose to use foot gougers as an AoE thing. Also have a point in God mode. Anybody who plays Deadpool and does not is making a huge mistake. Strictly for every 90 seconds you can screw up and it's a freebie. And also it's unlimited mana while it's up, or spirit, excuse me. Played too much WoW. Big ol' stab maxed out, as you can see in my F slot. That's your single target damage. If you don't have that maxed, you just shouldn't be playing this character. Of course, your heal, superior healing factor, is almost a must for this character too. Let's see. I have the power-ups. It's a 1-point wonder to me. I don't feel the need to put anything more than 1 point. Most of the other stuff I have are the passives, such as safety through stabbing and stuff, but I will look at my tree and go into that further at another time. I also have 1 point and Not So Big Minigun. I mainly use it as a pull move for people. I really don't use it. Like I said, I don't feel the need to be at range with this character at all yet. As you'll see, I tend to go out and get the non-elites first just because you can almost one-shot them, and it's really nice to get them down. That's just extra damage that your tribesmen don't need to take. Because the whole purpose of this is to keep them alive. Sacrifice, I mean, you taking damage is always better than them, especially on Deadpool where you can regen the health. I don't do this in many other characters. I do it with Emma Frost occasionally, and it's really nice just for the range of not having to worry about everything getting balled up, and she has so much area damage, it's insane. But I prefer Deadpool just for staying alive, so... As you'll see, I'm always low on spirit, especially because I tend to use Slice and Dice as much as I can. I like the extra damage from, especially for this. Also, you'll see I don't really fight anything that I don't have to. Not a big fan of killing all the minions through this. You also have your ultimate here if you ever need it, especially on Deadpool. I mean, just freezing everything, giving you a chance to run around, kill it. While his ultimate is not nearly as good as a lot of other characters, I'm hoping the rework, they give him something different for the ultimate, because I'm not a big fan of his right now. It just doesn't show off the damage that the others do, of the characters who've had their rework, but it's good for something like this. If you fall behind, you can use that while the enemy's frozen to run around and catch up and stuff like that. But again, far better ultimates are out there. And really, you can actually use it on the first or second one and have it back normally by the time you get to mana to kill him. Third one, you'll have it back before the fight's over, but not in the very beginning. Not that it matters. As you can see, not a problem. I didn't even play that very well, and they're still at about 25% health, so it's not that big of an issue. And the fight here with Wizard is not that intensive. He doesn't do the damage. Actually, the thing that does majority of the damage here are the spiders he summons. I try to keep them down. If it's only one, it's not really an issue as to how much damage it puts out, but I try to, kill them as they spawn. Just because if you get two of them on you, they do hit pretty hard with their melee attack. Hard enough that I can't heal through it, and that's what's important to me. But his damage is next to nothing, and as you can tell, his health pool compared to a lot of the bosses, the level 63 bosses, is nowhere near what some of them are. So he's not that much of an issue to deal with. And I like it because he doesn't run. Unique, how about that? And that concludes for the first part of running the Vibranium mines here. I will have a second guide to show from here on up through Man 8.